lecture, okay, on the cell. Remember that, right? Cell consists of cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, right? And cytoplasm consists of cytosol, which is the fluid, and the organelles, right? You have learned some of the organelle, the nucleus. What is the closest to the nucleus? What is the next organelle that's closer to the nucleus? Ribosome. And then ribosomes attached to the, what is the next organelle it's going to be? RER, right? Therefore it's called RER because it's rough, it has ribosome in it. And then RER, after the RER will be smooth ER. Okay? Both of the RER and the smooth ER will produce the product, what? RER store the protein, SER produce the lipid. Both of this product will go to the next organelle that will process these two products into the final product. What do you call that, the next organelle? Golgi, and Golgi will make like final product like the enzyme, hormones, and many other things, right? And some of them stay in your cell, some organelle, some enzyme, like for example lysosome stay in your cell. It is carried by organelle called the lysosome, right? And then there is a protease will be carried by proteasome. There is catalase will be carried by peroxisome. That's some other organelle that stay in your cell. All of this process need or require energy. Therefore, you have organelle that produce the ATP, the energy. What do you call that organelle? Mitochondria. Get this one? Right. We have talked about that. Now we'll continue with the cell membrane. Right. We'll continue to discuss the cell membrane. Okay. Last time we mentioned that the primary molecule that make the cell membrane is called, anybody still remember what is the name of that molecule? It has head and two tails. Phosphor. This one carry phosphate, which is negative charge. Therefore, this one is called phospho head. And then this one is actually fatty acid, which is lipid, right? Therefore, the name is going to be phospholipid. That's the name of the molecules that will make the cell membrane. This is the framework of the cell membrane will be made by these molecules. How many layers going to be? 2. Okay, remember, because it has head that is hydrophilic, love water, and it has fatty acid tail, which is hydrophobic. So the hydrophilic molecule will be facing water outside. Water outside, outside the cell. It's not. That's one layer. And the other layer, the head also will be facing inside. Okay, this is another layer over here. Okay, therefore it will create 2 layers of cell membrane. So this is cell membrane. And it is because created by 2 layers of phospholipids, therefore the cell membrane is also known as phospholipid bilayers. Okay, it has 2 layers of phospholipid molecules. You follow this one first. Now, what are the functions of the cell membrane? Last time we mentioned at least 2 functions. What is the first one? Membrane usually what? Protects, right? So it's protect the inside. So protection. Okay. But the second function is actually very important, which is control movement of molecules in and out from the cell. Okay, so that's the function of the cell membrane. Now the question is, how this cell membrane control the movement of molecules in and out? That's the question. That's actually what? That's gonna be physiology, right? How to is physiology. Before we talk about the function, the physiology over here, we're gonna continue with the structure over here. Okay, structure of the cell membrane. Of course, it has phospholipid bilayer. Yeah, phospholipid bilayer. Okay. Now, in addition of phospholipid bilayers, cell membrane also has proteins. It has proteins that has many functions. Based on the structure, so protein are gonna make this classification over here. Okay, based on structure, there are two types of proteins based on structure. First is the proteins that like this. So that proteins usually very big, and then it cross the cell membrane. From outside inside or inside outside, the whole, okay, it's gonna fill the whole plasma membrane over here. Sometimes it's creating also like a channel. Can you see that one? It's crossing the plasma membrane or the cell membrane. If it is look like this, then this protein is called the integral protein. Integral proteins, okay, which is crossing the cell membrane. Okay, that's the name. What is integral proteins? The proteins that cross the whole cell membrane. The second one, let's say you have cell membranes with phospholipid bilayer, is the protein that may be here, outside, is not crossing the cell membrane, or maybe here, attached to the inside of the cell membrane. Can you follow this? Can you see the difference, right? The first one is crossing the whole cell membrane, and the second one is just maybe on the top or maybe inside, not crossing it. You know? That's what we call the peripheral. Peripheral means side. So this is the peripheral proteins, which is outside or inside. Okay. Can you see the difference here? This is based on structure. Now, based on function. Based on function. There are going to be 5 or 6 different functions of proteins. I'm going to use the 5 different functions based on your textbook. Okay. The first one is called the transporter or carrier or channel. Okay. So basically, the first function over here is to allow the movement or to carry molecules, whether inside or outside. They are carrier, they are transporter, or maybe they are channel. You get this one? Easy, right? Now, the second one, okay, the second one is for receptor. Okay, receptor. Okay, receptor. Receptor mostly peripheral proteins outside. Let's say maybe like this, maybe look like this. Okay, and it can receive maybe, let's say this is hormone. Right? When hormones coming into your cell, it has to have receptor. Different cell will have different receptor for different hormones. Therefore, hormone only work at a special cell because what? That cell has special receptor for the hormone. So this is receptor over here. Mostly peripheral proteins. Are you with me? Okay. Next, markers. Okay. Many markers protein is also peripheral proteins. Let's say this is marker. Okay. Every cell in our body have different markers. The marker that we have in our cell is called the MHC1, Major Histocompatibility Complex Protein 1. Okay, that's the MHC stand for. So I, for example, my cell have my own MHC1. Your cell will have different MHC number 1. You got it? Therefore, if I get your skin, for example, you as a donor and I am receptor for your skin, I will reject your cell. I will reject your skin. Because what? Because we have different MHC number 1. My white blood cell will try to kill your cell. It's called the rejection. Okay, so skin graft, for example, if it is coming from someone else, it will be rejected. Therefore, doctor usually give you the medicine or the drugs in order to block that rejection. Are you with me? If you do the skin graft from your own skin, what do you think? Is there any rejection or not? No. Like for example, you have problem in here, you take the skin from here, pow, okay, and then put here. There will be no rejection. Because what? Because your cell have the same markers. You with me? Now, how about twins? Anybody know how about the twins? Do the twins have rejection? If you have twin and then you receive the skin graft, is there any rejection from your twin? Yes or no? Yes or no? It depends on the twin. If it is identical twin, there will be no rejection. But if it is unidentical twin, then there will be rejection. Do you see the difference from that? Identical twin, usually you have the same markers. If you have identical twins, you are happy. Yeah? He can give you or she can give you their organs or their skin without rejection. You follow this, right? So that's what we call the markers. So that's actually protein. The next function of the protein is as the enzyme. Okay, enzyme. Mostly protein that is inside over here, it will speed reaction inside the cell, in the cytoplasm. Because what? Because this enzyme, these proteins, they are enzyme. What is the function of enzyme? Speed reaction. Okay, make the reaction fast. That's the function of proteins. Another function. The last one over here, there is a protein, it's called linkers. Okay, usually also on the outside over here, it can link one molecule with other molecules. Okay, so these linkers over here. This one is enzyme. Okay, so mostly the linkers will be also peripheral proteins. Can you follow this? Okay, not always, not all. Okay, so this one, this, they are mostly the peripheral proteins, mostly. majority. Okay? The first one over here, transporter link, carrier channel, they are mostly this. Mostly the integral proteins are transporter, carrier, or channel. Okay? It is logical, right? It makes sense because it's going to be crossing thing from out, in, or in, out. Therefore, need integral protein. Remember, anatomy fits with physiology, what? Structure fit function. Hey, do you have questions so far? No? Now, the question is, the next question, okay, over here, again, how to control this movement. Now, there are two types, okay, two types of transport. Two types of transport across membrane. I'm gonna erase this one. I think we need bigger space. Okay. Okay. We're talking about transport, okay, movement of molecules. So there are two types, two main type of transport, okay, across cell membrane. Please. Okay. First one, the first type is called passive transport. Passive transport. Okay, passive. Passive means it does not require no energy or ATP required. It does not need the energy. Just passive, just move passively, without using the energy. For the passive transport, there are three types. Okay. The first one is called the simple diffusion. Okay. The second one is called the facilitated diffusion. It requires facilitation. It requires help. Okay. And then the last one is called osmosis. Get it? Now, I'm going to explain this osmosis first. Osmosis is movement of water. That's it. Movement of water. So movement of water in or out our cell, they are mostly passive movement. No energy required. They just move from one side to the other side, in or out, based on, later we're going to see, based on the concentration of something, solutes. Right? That's the osmosis. Now, how about diffusion? We're going to define diffusion first. Diffusion is movement of molecule. Does not include water because water have special name. It's called the osmosis. What? Movement of molecules from higher concentrations down to lower concentrations. Okay? That's the definition of diffusion. Movement of molecule from higher concentrations to lower concentration. You follow this one first. Now, we're going to put example first over here for the passive transport. Remember, in here we have mitochondria. We have mitochondria. What is the function of mitochondria? Making the ATP, energy, right? That's the that's the power the power plant of the cell, right? Now, how to make ATP? What substances, what molecules do you need to make ATP? Remember, when we talk about making ATP, you need to eat and what is the other one? Breathe, right? That's the two molecules needed for making energy, which is eat. What is it? Glucose, right? Chemical. And then what is breathe? Oxygen. You need oxygen. Okay? Let's say this is your blood vessel. After you eat, then a lot of glucoses will be carried by this blood vessel, and then it will be released here into the interstitial fluid. Let's say going there. Get it? And in your blood vessel, you also have hemoglobins, red blood cell that carry what? Oxygen, right? Let's say you have a lot of oxygen carried by the blood vessel. And also it will release here. Into the interstitial fluid. You get one? Now, where is the mitochondria located? Inside the cell or outside the cell? Inside the cell. It means that these two molecules have to enter to the cell. You get this one? How they enter the cell? Now, my question is, first, which area have more concentration of glucoses? Outside or inside? Come on. You just receive a lot of glucoses from the blood vessel. Okay? It is inside or outside? Come on, this is your cell over here. This is your cell. And this is glucoses. Inside or outside? It's still outside, right? It's not entered the cell yet. Are you with me? It means that where the glucose is more have higher concentration, inside or outside? Inside the cell or outside the cell? Outside, right? You get this one first? We're going to follow that definition over there. More glucose is inside or outside the cell? Right now. Outside. It's always outside actually, right? Because your blood will always supply with the glucoses. Get it? Now, second, oxygen. Which one has more oxygen? Outside or inside? Outside or inside? Still outside, right? Still outside. Because your blood just give you a lot of oxygen, but it's still outside. Mitochondria need both of this, right? So it means that it has to enter this. It has to enter in order to be used by mitochondria. Can you follow that? Now the question is how these two molecules enter into the cell. What is the name of movement over there? What's going to be the name of movement? They're going to use diffusion, right? What does diffusion mean? From higher to lower. Can you follow this? Okay, now, for the small molecules like oxygen, gas, they do not require anything. Because oxygen is actually hydrophobic molecule, small hydrophobic molecule. What does hydrophobic mean? Fear of water. And lipids, which is these phospholipids, they are also hydrophobic. You get this one? Therefore, they are friend. They are friend. So, this phospholipid bilayer will tell his friend, which is oxygen, come on, just enter it. You, my friend. Are you with me? So, this oxygen will enter easily. Simply. Now, what do you call that movement? What do you call that transport? Choose from that three over there. Simple diffusion. Can you follow this? So, oxygen will use simple diffusion to enter to the cell. Get it? Okay. Now, oxygen over here. Okay, enter now. It's gonna be entering to this mitochondria. Are you with me? Now the second one, glucose. Glucose, it is inorganic or organic? Still remember the difference between organic and inorganic molecule? So glucose, it is inorganic molecule or organic molecule? Organic or inorganic? Anybody can help? What is glucose? Organic or inorganic? Just last week. And you have in the question too. Huh? Organics, right? This is the monosaccharide. This is organic molecules. How about the oxygen? Organic or inorganic? Inorganic. What does inorganic mean? Simple molecule, only 2, 3, 4, 5 atoms, right? Very small. How about this? This is organic molecule. It has hundreds of atoms, right? It means it's big. Okay? Do you think this one can easily cross the phospholipid bilayer? No, it is not. Right? It is not. Because what is too big? It will not be able to cross the phospholipid bilayer. Now, how this glucose will enter into the cell? It will have the transporter or carrier. So basically, glucose will attach over here, and this transporter will kind of flip over and then release the glucose inside. Okay? So that's the first function over there. Oh, I already erased it. What is the first function of the proteins on the cell membrane? Carrier, transporter, or channel. This one is carrier or transporter. Now, based on this information, remember, this is from higher to lower concentration. So what type of transport is that? Choose from A, B, C over there. What type of transport going to be for the glucose? B. What is that? B? Facilitated diffusion. Why it is facilitated? Because it requires help. There is facilitation. And it is still diffusion because from higher to lower concentration. This is how your glucose enter to your cell. From the interstitial fluid. Now over here, the glucose will be used by the oxygens in the mitochondria to produce what? ATP plus carbon dioxide plus water. That's what we call the cellular respiration to produce this ATP over here. Usually about 38 ATP will be produced from one glucose. From one glucose will produce about 34, 38 ATP. Are you with me? But you see the waste product over here, the byproduct, carbon dioxide. Now my question is, if you have this process over here, where the carbon dioxide will be more concentrated, inside or outside the cell? I'm sorry? Inside, because it's always produced, right? From this reaction, you're gonna have a lot of carbon dioxide inside the cell. Are you with me, right? And then you always require oxygen. Oxygen will be always less compared to this because it's always being used. Are you with me? The same thing with the glucose. It will always be less compared to the outside because what? Always being used. Boom, 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 boom. And then it's going to be produced this. And carbon dioxide is bad for us. We need to expel this out. Okay? It means that it has to be out from the cell. Now the question is how it's going to be out from the cell. Okay, from higher concentration to lower concentration. What is the name of the movement? What is the movement name? Higher to lower? Diffusion. It is simple or facilitated. The same with the oxygen. This one is very small molecule and also hydrophobic. It means that it will not require anything. They just simply, boom, out from the cell. Now, what is the name of the transport for carbon dioxide? A, B, or C? A, simple diffusion. Can you follow this? So oxygen, carbon dioxide, they use simple diffusion, in and out. Okay, and then from here, then carbon dioxide will enter into our blood vessel, will be carried into your lungs, and it's going to be, boom, out from your body. You exhale out. You breathe out carbon dioxide. You follow this? That's the example of that passive transport. Now, how about water? How about water? Water use special transport. What do you call the transport of water? Osmosis. If you heard osmosis, it's only water movement. Now, water has special channel. Let's say here, which is proteins. Water channel. Or aquaporin. Aqua mean what? Water. Pore is hole. What? Pore. So aquaporin. Hole or pore or channel for water, which is, if you see IN over here, it means it is protein. Toxin is protein. Right? So this is a water channel. Now, how water move? That's the question. Using osmosis. How it is moved? It is really different on the concentration, what we call the solute. So water will use this channel, whether in or out. What causing this movement? I'm gonna make 3. Okay, let's say this is 3 container. And then let's say you put water over here. Water, water, water. So water, water, water. Okay? Get this one first? On each container you put, let's say, red blood cell. You put cell over there. You also put cell over here, red blood cell. Okay, so red blood cell. Get it? You with me? Now, red blood cell actually contains about 0.9 salt, sodium chloride. So it has sodium chloride. It's a little bit salty. So 0.9% NaCl, sodium chloride. So this one also the same, have 0.9% sodium chloride, and this red blood cell have 0.9% sodium chloride. You got this one first? Now, on the first container, you don't put anything in the water. It's just water. It means that how many sodium chloride in this water, in the first container? We don't put any salt. How many percent will be? 0, right? So this one, 0% sodium chloride. Are you with me? Now, if you compare the concentration between this water and the concentration of sodium chloride inside this cell, which one has higher concentration? Inside the cell or outside the cell? Inside, right? 0.9 still higher than 0. Are you with me? Therefore, this solution over here that has lower concentration compared to the cell is called the hypotonic solution. It's called hypotonic solution. You follow this one first? Get it? That's the first container. In the second container, you put sodium chloride. You put sodium chloride and you try to make it exactly 0.9%. Okay? exactly is 0.9% sodium chloride on the second container. Now, compare with the cell. What is the percentage? Higher, lower, or the same? The same. What? They have the same concentration of salt. And this solution over here that have the same concentration is called the iso. Iso means the same. Isotonic solution. You follow this? Now, on the last one, on the last container, you put a lot of salt. A lot of it. It's very, very salty. Let's say it's become 10% salt, which is really salty. Okay? Now, based on this information, which one has more? Outside or inside the cell? Outside, right? So solution that have higher concentrations is called the hypertonic. So this solution is called the hypertonic solution. Okay. You have three conditions over here. Now the question is how the water will be moving in these three different conditions. Okay? Let's say, okay, of course, in the cell it has aquaporin. It has aquaporin, right? It has channel for water, aquaporin. Inside the cell, you have water. Outside the cell, you have water with different salt concentration. Now, the water will always try to dissolve solute. Always. So solutes may be like salt, sugar is called the solute. Molecule that you put in water. And water try to dissolve them. You get it? It means that water will always try to go from lower solute to higher solute. Right? Because it's try to dissolve them, try to make it balance. Okay? Are you with me? So where water go? From higher solute or from lower solute? From lower solute to higher solutes. Are you with me? Now, look at this one. Which one is higher solute? Inside or outside? Inside. It means that where the water go? In or out? In. From lower to higher. So the water actually will be in. What happened with the cell? Become bigger or smaller? Bigger. Right? It's become bigger because a lot of water enter. And finally, it will explode. Boom. Actually, the cell will be broken. Are you with me? So this condition is called hemolysis. Hemo means blood, lysis means broken. So the blood will be explode because what? Too much water enter to the cell. So basically, if you have you donor your blood, they will not put that blood in the hypotonic solution. Why? It will explode. It's broken. Look at the second condition over here. Okay, what's the concentration? Same. Now, where the water will go? In or out? In or out? They're still moving because they have the aquaporin. They will move out and also in, out and in because it is balanced, right? So what happened with the blood cell in this solution? Stay the same or broken? Fresh, stay the same. Okay, so again, when you give donor your blood, they will put your blood in the isotonic solution. It's called buffer solution. The solution that keep your blood fresh. Are you with me? Now, look at the last one. Which one has higher solute? In or out? Where the water will go? In or out? Remember, from lower to higher solute. Out, right? So the water will go out from the cell, it tried to dissolve this, too much salt outside. Now what happened with the water? What happened with the cell? Smaller or bigger? Smaller, shrink. It's shrinking. That shrinking is called the crenation. Shrink. The red blood cell will be also shrinking, or it's called the crenation. That's what happened with this osmosis. Water will always move from lower solute to higher solute concentration. So the same thing with our cell over here. If we have too much salt outside, then what happened? You're gonna be dehydrated, right? If we have too much salt inside our cell, what happened? You will be bloating or something like that. Okay, you with me? Does anybody gardening? You have plant. When you have plants like gardening in the pot, for example, don't put too much fertilizer. Do you know what happened if you put too much fertilizer on the plant? What happened with the cell? Shrinking. What? Because what? It's too much salt outside the plant, and the plant, actually the water from the plant will go out. Try to dissolve the fertilizer. Fertilizer mostly salt. And then what happened? Your plant will be dehydrated. When you give the fertilizer, it has to be enough. Not too much or not too little. Okay. Do you have question? Like, for example, if you go on the ocean, you do paddling, and then you lost. You lost on the ocean, and you drink ocean water. What happened with your body? Dehydrated. What happened? Because too much salt outside your cell. Your cell actually your fluid from cell will out from your body, and you will be more thirsty, dehydrated. Can you follow this? This is how osmosis or water move. Okay. Do you have questions so far? We just talk about one movement away, one type of transport. We're gonna move to the next type of transport. I'm gonna erase this one. Okay. The next type of transport, number 2 over here. If you have passive, what is the opposite going to be? Active. It's called active. Active transport. Okay. So active transport is, on the passive, you do not need energy. So this one will be requires energy. What? Requires ATP. Okay, that's active transport. Okay, there are several types. The first one is called the primary active transport. Okay, this is also known as sodium, potassium, ATP pump. Remember, active in using pumping. You know, pump is active, right? So the primary active transport is also known sodium, potassium pump or ATP pump. Okay, now I'm gonna explain this, right? Outside your cell, I'm gonna erase this. Okay, outside the cell, you have a lot of sodium, right? Ions, a lot of sodium ions. Got it? Inside the cell, you actually have more potassium ion, which is also positive ion. Okay? You have a lot of chloride ion, which is negative ion outside. Calcium ion is 2+ outside. That's concentration difference. Can you follow this? Now, each ion, it will have channel. So this is what we call the ion channel. Okay? An ion channel will be proteins. Protein function number 1, whether carrier, transporter, or channel. Why ions need channel? Because ions cannot move through this lipid. Why? Ions, they are hydrophilic. They are polar molecule, right? And lipid is hydrophobic. Hydrophobic will not match. Therefore, it's required channel. And the channel is called the ion channel. And each ion will have special channel. Are you with me? So the channel for sodium is going to be called the sodium channel. You follow this? And then, let's say this is another channel for potassium. What do you call this channel then? Channel for potassium is called the, come on, potassium channel. So you have potassium channel. Let's say this is another one channel for chloride. In your cell, you have chloride channel. Anybody heard about the cystic fibrosis disease? That's actually a problem with their chloride channel on their lung cell. Their chloride channel is not normal. Right? Now, it has special channel, right? Now, this ion with this channel, they can move easily. So they can also use diffusion. Remember, higher to lower is diffusion. Now, my question is, if it is ions, which one do you think is going to be, A or B? If it is ion like channel, using channel, A or B? B, because what? It's required channel, right? It's required facilitation. So basically, the sodium, because it's a lot outside, it enter inside with facilitated diffusion. It is still passive right now. Get it? Passive. Now what happened? Sodium, actually, whenever they enter into the channel, they enter 3 of them at the same time. 3 sodium enter. Are you with me? Now look at the potassium. Where do you think potassium will go? In or out? Using the same facilitated diffusion. In or out? Out, because there are so many inside, right? Now it's out. But every time the potassium out, it's only 2 of them out. Can you follow this one first? What happens if you have this condition? This is normal condition. This is normal. So every time there are 3 plus in, right? And 2 plus out. Are you with me? What happened with the inside charge or potential? Will be more negative or more positive? More positive. Every time there is always extra 1, right? 3 in, 2 out. Don't worry about the ion. Now just worry about the plus, the positive charge. How many positive in? 3. How many positive out? 2. It means that this will not balance. It will always increase positive. You don't like that one. We need to control this. We need to make it balance. The balance is actually, this is what we call the resting membrane potential of the cell. It has to be controlled to the negative 70 microvolt. That's the normal resting potential of cell. Right? Now, if it is happening, it will increase. Maybe become minus 55, or we can maybe positive if you cannot control that. Now, how to control it? We have this. The primary active transport, which is the one that moves the substance from lower concentration to the higher concentration. It has special proteins or pump. It's called the sodium potassium pump. Okay? It's require ATP. So ATP will enter, will need it to pump what? Pump 2 potassium in. Why it need to pump? Because there are more inside. You have to push it. It cannot be simple. Right? It has to push. The same thing, this pump, at the same time will pump 3 sodium out. Okay, can you follow that? Now what happens if you have this, this, and this? 3 in, 3 out, right? 2 out, 2 in. And then now your cell are in balance or is in balance. Can you follow this? And this is the main active transport that we have a lot in our cell. Yeah? If this one are broken, then we have problem with the potential in the cell. Okay? So this is how the cell control the balance using the primary active transport. There is another one, it's called the secondary active transport. Okay? Okay? So let's say sometimes there is also hydrogen ion channel. Okay? Whenever hydrogen enter, sometimes it carries something else with it. So it's kind of having that secondary molecules enter with the hydrogens. Or sometimes with the hydrogen in, it can take other molecule out, maybe chloride, or let's say this is chloride over here. They can go together like that. That is called the secondary active transport. It can go one way or opposite way. One way is called the symport. Symport going to the same direction. If it is opposite direction, this channel or this active transport is called the antiport. Right? So maybe symport, antiport, active, secondary active transport. Okay. Another one with movement is called the vesicle transport using vesicle like a small organelle. It could be endocytosis or exocytosis. Okay? Now, look, remember, let's say one cell creating hormones, right? Creating hormones, which is Golgi apparatus, and that hormone will be carried by your blood, right? And that hormone is needed by this cell. Okay? The hormone usually inside that vesicle. Right? So this is called the vesicle. We can say also a vehicle, like a vehicle, right? A vesicle. And then this actually, if it is enter, it can fuse with the cell membrane because the vesicle is actually also have phospholipid bilayers. It's double membrane too. Right? So it fuse over here, boom, and then finally from outside go inside. And inside, the hormone can be released. When it is enter, that transport is called endocytosis. Right? Enter into the cell. Now, let's say this cell produce, let's say this is Golgi apparatus, produce hormone carried by the vesicle. It has to be out. Okay, it will be diffused with this cell membrane, and it is out, and it's carried to other cell. So this process over here, when the vesicle transporting the molecules outside, is going to be called the exocytosis. Okay, so using the vesicle exit, carry molecule exit from the cell. Get this one? And I think in your book, it's mentioned one more, which is transcytosis. Transcytosis. Okay. This is basically for the cell that attach together. So like a skin cell, the cell is actually not separate. There is another cell over here. Right? There is another cell. Let's say one cell produce, the Golgi produce hormone, right? And the hormone just cross these two membrane and then finally release to the next cell. You see that one is crossing the two membrane without going to the blood circulation or the interstitial fluid, just crossing these two membrane that close one another, attach one another. That process is called a transcytosis. Okay, so transcytosis is between the cell that bind together. Okay, I think I will stop here. There are too many information so far. Again, if you already have your assignment print out, you should be able to fill out many information from this class, from this lecture today, and also from the previous lecture in the lab last week. You have a good day, and don't forget tomorrow your lab. We're gonna have tissue lab. There is no quiz tomorrow. The lab? No, I don't think there is quiz on the lab. Check